Yo, Zaytoven checking in. Check it out. Beat Basement, the championship. Come compete. Bring your A game. You know what I mean? It's going up. The Beat Basement, man. Beat Battle Championship. Yeah, it's going down. Zaytoven said that.
You are now listening to The Beat Basement.
It's the Beat Basement, where you hear from your livest producers, all of them. And this is where it all goes down, where you hear the funky sounds, from the producers who's up and coming to the great ones, all of them. And I'm your host, Swish, and we going in. Everything going in. Hey, what it do? Hey, all's well, man. Getting ready to let them know what's good. Yes, sir. Make these beats, man. Yes, sir. Right. It's the cook up. What you got over there?
So right
What you
here.
working with? What's that? That's the collard greens.
What's that?
The collard greens.
So we got this the turkey right here.
Okay.
We assuming it's Thanksgiving.
Oh, we going holiday.
Yeah, it's a feast.
Holiday on them. Okay.
You got your turkey.
Holiday. Okay.
This is sweet potatoes.
Yes,
right
sir.
here.
Holiday season in this bitch.
Collard greens.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
You got to include everything. So you got a little the cranberry sauce right here. Little mac and cheese. And salt and pepper included.
Yeah.
You're going to eat good, man.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait. It's the cook up.
Yes, sir.
Ready to eat.
Got to.
Ready to eat.
It's that time.
Man, right here about to show y'all how to make a beat. This is how to make a beat for dummies, all right?
Real simple. It don't take a whole lot.
Well, this, and I ain't calling y'all dummies, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, beat making 101.
Yeah, beat making 101. Motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Thug motivation.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Presents the Beat Basement, where you hear from your livest producers, all of them. And this is where it all goes down, where you hear the funky sounds, from the producers that's up and coming to Grammy Award winning, all of them. And I'm your host, Swish, and we going in. Everything going in. Well, on this episode, man, we got the flyest. When I tell you the flyest, coldest producer in the motherfucking building, man.
All right.
I mean, I just want to give it up to this dude, and just let y'all know this is a real brother of mine, man, and a real true talent. You know what I'm saying? So, without further motherfucking withdrawal, hey, I'd like to introduce to y'all my brother, Demetrius Hamilton.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you for having me, man. Yes, sir. I'm Demetrius Hamilton. I go by Maestro Meech, and I've been producing for about at least 8 years. You know what I'm saying? So, this time we're going to do another cook-up, and we're going to focus on showing people how to cook up, especially beginners. It's a really simple process. The best thing to do is not to complicate it, and we're just going to take them through step by step and show them how to build a beat from the bottom to the top, so that's what we're going to do today.
So y'all lock in, watch, and follow. Listen, step by step, man. This dude is going to show us how to make the dopest beats. Beats for beginners, beats for dummies, shall I say. I ain't calling y'all dummies, but you know that book, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all know. But anyways, man, this is Cook Up 101.
101.
With Demetrius Hamilton.
That's right.
Fly ass Hamilton.
I'll take it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So,
Yes, sir.
man, tell these folks what the first step is to, cooking up.
Okay.
What I mean, before you even press any keys, turn the computer on, like what do you do?
So typically, a lot of times, I'll come up with beats throughout the day, but I won't make them right away. So what I'll do is I'll save them as vocal cords or vocal records on the phone, and when I do get a chance to get to them, then I'll go through the different records I've saved, and I'll pick a beat I want to make. So I don't know how other producers come up with their beats. Sometimes it's on the spot. Sometimes you might be out, in public, and you get an idea, and you might take that idea back to the house. So it just makes it more convenient, and it also gives you sort of like a profile or a catalog to work on when you get to your actual laptop. So, if you do have brain freeze or you get stuck, you still got a whole catalog of beats you've been saving as records on your phone, so it'll expedite your process. And
Wait. So let me get this straight.
Uh-huh.
So you could be in a grocery store, you could be anywhere,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, and a thought come to you.
Mm-hmm.
You automatically go to the phone.
Automatically go to the phone.
And lock in the
yeah.
what, the sound?
Instant inspiration. Yeah. So it might be a sound, it might be a melody, and anything can trigger it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but like somebody might, it's simple as somebody might blow their horn in traffic, or they might be ringing your groceries up while you checking out, and that simple boop, from the scanner might trigger something in your head, and you got a beat playing in your head. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you ringing up some Doritos or some
and just start
what I'm saying, Hot Pockets or something.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Something just come to your head just like that. Mm-hmm.
Something goes in the grocery basket or something.
Yeah.
That's a beat right there.
Right there. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anything bring inspiration, so you just got to be ready.
Lock in.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to lock in.
That's it.
Before you even get to the studio, lock in, or at least have a list of something you might have heard like earlier in the day, or something that brought that thought out earlier in the day.
Right. So that's a
jot
good
it
start.
down.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Y'all
good
hear
start.
that?
Yeah. So for anybody who struggles with coming up with stuff on the spot,
Beat fart or beat block.
Beat block.
Yeah.
That's a good way. So.
Kind of like writer's block for rappers.
Exactly, because it happens to everybody, There are moments when you just hop on the computer and you instantly come up with something, but then it's days where you'll sit there for 15, 30 minutes or an hour and you just feel like you can't put anything together, you know what I'm saying? So on those days, that's when it's good to go back through your vocal notes and just grab one of them. And it's something because, like I said, any sound can trigger some type of inspiration. So you might be listening to one vocal cord and get another idea off of that vocal cord. Now you got another beat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a good thing to keep them on the phone.
All right. We ain't gonna hold them up too much longer, but we want to get the basics. We want to get y'all down with the basics on how to cook up a beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Number one rule, before you even get in the studio, before you even think about cooking up a beat, you should already be in a grocery store, or something should come to you organically.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So organically, and put it down in your Rolodex. I know a lot of y'all youngsters don't know what no Rolodex is. Yeah. So, put it in your phone. Put it in your phone, in your notes, somewhere. Lock it in. Because as soon as you go to the studio, this is your next step.
For sure.
Tell them they next step,
All right.
Jay.
So the next step after you you beatbox, so you save the vocal note on the phone, so you take it to the computer, and typically what I do.
Do you need to get any snacks or anything like that when you get ready to lock in, or is it gonna be a long motherfucking night or a day, or
it depends on the person, man. So I try to eat before I start making a beat, because once I get into it, 9 times out of 10 I'm not getting out of the chair, because you just get so you just get completely invested into what you're doing. And before you know it, 1 or 2 hours will go by like nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I try to eat before I sit down, so that way you don't lose focus either. You know what I'm saying? Because, once you get your stomach out the way, you're not thinking about food. You can strictly focus on making the beat and working on the process. So you can keep snacks around if you want, but I really don't care to eat while I'm producing, because I just strictly focus on the beat. That is the cook up.
So
That's
you
the
eating the
food.
beat, yeah. So
That's
you
it,
eating
right.
the beat. So you eating the beat. You was
Eating
gonna
off the
say
beat.
that before I could even say it.
That's it. The beat is the meal.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And also I noticed a lot of rappers, and producers, when they get ready to lock in, they'll smoke something, drink something, or they'll smoke while they're doing.
Right.
Do you need that, and do you feel like that hinders or may help you?
So personally, I don't smoke and I don't drink. That's just my lifestyle, you know. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I never got into it. I've had a couple drinks here and there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
good.
taste of alcohol is.
You good,
I
Jay?
think it's a
Told y'all.
preferred taste. You know what I'm saying?
I told y'all.
But I do know, you know, I've heard that it does help some creatives get loose or get into their flow. You know, so I say to each is their own. You know what I'm saying? If you don't smoke and you don't drink, that's cool. If you do smoke and you do drink, and that helps you find your vibe and your rhythm, I don't judge anybody for what they do. Everybody's process is different. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the individual and what they need to get going. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That's how like I said, I beatbox, and I just walk around coming up with ideas all day, and that's how I get into my rhythm. You know what I'm saying? I just record what comes to my mind when it comes to my mind at that moment, and it's like second nature when I sit down to make a beat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I get it done.
Okay. So does anything influence you while you making a beat? Like something your girl could have made you mad earlier, or something could have made you mad. Do you bring that same energy when you step inside that, when you getting ready to cook up?
That's a good question. So when I'm making the beat, I think there have been times when I have been angry and I sat down and made a beat, and it wasn't intentional, but that beat came out sounding like I was upset about something. Like, it was a hard beat.
Like, bitch, I wanted to slap you, but
right.
I'm gonna put this kick in this motherfucker. Wanted to kick your ass, but I'm gonna put this kick on this motherfucking beat.
Mm-hmm. And so like you can get the intensity in your spirit or whatever you have going on internally, it can come out in the moment, even if you're not trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? So if you've been aggravated or you've been upset about something, then you might make a banger. You know what I'm saying? But, if you're in a good mood and you just chill, everything's going well, you might make an R&B type hit or something like that, something chill and relax. So I do think the demeanor that you have when you sit down to make a beat can influence the beat. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. It can happen like that sometimes.
Okay. Okay. So number two, y'all lock in. When y'all getting ready to lock in, make sure y'all ate. Make sure y'all either gonna eat on this beat. You gotta hydrate it.
Right.
You focused. You locked in. You got your notes. Make sure that that's it. No outside distractions after that.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So, now go ahead.
Okay. So that's number two.
Number two.
Okay. So okay. What number three would be your energy, or how would you kind of say, okay, bring this into the studio too, or this is what I'm coming with today?
Okay, so
as far as that energy, that whole energy. So do you pick an energy before you go in? Rule number three. You tell them rule number three.
Okay, so as far as energy or how you go into the studio, I would just say walk into the studio with a clear mind. You know what I'm saying? Don't have any preconceptions of, what you want to do or how you want to do it. Besides the notes you save, don't try to force the feeling. You know what I'm saying? Just, go in with a clear mind and that's it, a clear conscience. You know what I'm saying? And the beat will really make itself as it progresses. You know what I'm saying? But you don't got to force it. You don't got to say, this is how I want to feel when I get in there, or I'm going to try to push this or promote this type of atmosphere when I get in the studio. No, you just go as you are, and once you get there, the creativity, it'll just flow. You know what I'm saying? So the vibe and the beat, it'll really pick itself. You know what I'm saying? So you don't got to force that. You ain't got to force the energy or pick the energy. Nothing like
Number
that.
three, don't pick the energy. Let it pick you once you lock in.
That's it.
You already got your notes.
It's just going to flow.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now you in the studio. First thing you do.
So once I turn on the computer,
Let's go ahead and let's get started on you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna still talk to them, but definitely, I'm guessing whatever you do next, I don't know.
Right.
Just let me know.
For sure.
Alright.
So I turn on the computer and I open up the program, and typically what I'll do, if I'm not using any notes I already have, like let's just say I'm making something in a moment.
I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut
No,
you.
you good.
What program do they get as a beginner?
Ooh, so I would say
What DAW?
the DAW that I would say is good for beginners. I hear everybody say that Fruity Loops is beginner friendly. For me personally, I used Reasons, and it just worked for me. Like from day one, as soon as I turned it on, I was making a beat in Reasons. So that's what I would promote. That's what I would say, because they have a good factory sound library as well. Like if you're a newbie to the beat making process, beat making game or whatever, you don't got to look for any outside or external sounds to the program, because it gives you a lot already. You know what I'm saying? So just based on my previous experience, I would say use that, because you can do everything on the laptop. You know, you got some DAWs like the one I got now, Machine, and then you have the Akai, and it comes with an MPC or something like that. And it might be too much for somebody just starting out, you know what I'm saying? Because you got the hardware and the software, and it might just be too much for one person, or too much information at one time for a person to try to put into use, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get the software integrated with the hardware, trying to run the hardware, trying to out certain sounds to a pad on the beat pad, you know what I'm saying? Like if you start with Reason and Fruity Loops, you can just do everything in the software without use of an external beat pad or something like that.
Or piano, keyboard or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
the keyboard,
guitar,
everything is already in there. They give you a scale, and you can use the keyboard inside of the program. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing that makes it user friendly. Everything you need is already in those two DAWs. You know what I'm saying? So I would recommend those two to anybody for sure.
Rule number 4. When you get in there, pick a DAW. Pick one to start off with. We just told you, Jay just gave y'all the game on which ones to get, to where you won't get confused with the DAWs that you hook up to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
I mean, I'm sorry, the piano or the keyboard or the drum kit. You don't have to hook up none of that stuff to the DAWs that Jay just said, Demetrius just said. So,
and in addition to that, I would say whatever DAW you start with, stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Because they all do the same things. Machine, Pro Tools, Reason, Akai, MPC, they all produce sounds, and they all let you get your ideas out. Some of the workflows might be different in each one, but like I said, everybody's different. So one person might like how Machine allows them to import or create their idea, and one person might like how the Akai MPC.
But that come with time though, right?
Yeah, so
they should kind of just wait to try to figure out which DAW that they really prefer before they move on to the next one.
Exactly, yeah. Before you really start making a lot of beats or doing too much, that's probably the first thing you got to do. Take time and do some research. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I did. Because I started off in Reason, but then I wanted to find more sounds, and I really just got bored of the sounds that were in Reason. So I did research on different DAWs. I went on different websites, and I listened to the different sound. They're like sound packs.
Library.
Different libraries they had, and I just, I came across Machine, and when I heard Machine's sound, their factory sound library, I was like, I think this is the one I'm gonna roll with, because they had a lot of cool sounds included
Yeah, all right. You giving them too much. You giving them too much for their brains right now to handle, okay? Okay? That's when they get advanced. That's for when y'all move on to the next doll after you get settled in with one doll, okay? Pick a doll. Rule number 4, pick a doll.
Pick a doll and stick with that
And
doll.
stick with it. Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Next thing, let's get to it. What we
All
about
right.
to do? I think we about to cook up, y'all. Yeah,
Just about ready.
Okay.
So
okay.
once
After you pick a doll.
After you pick a doll, the first thing I did, and I would recommend this to anybody as well, go through your entire sound bank, your entire library. And it might seem like it's an endless number of sounds in there, but what that does is it helps you pick out favorites. You know what I'm saying? So I know in Machine, they give you the option or the ability to save your favorites or mark them. You know, you can put a star next to them. And for me, what that does, it helps expedite the process, and it also helps me come up with ideas faster, because for me, my favorites are the sounds that inspire me to make music quicker than the other sounds. So out of those 10,000 sounds,
let's show them what you're talking about.
Okay.
By putting a star by your favorite sound.
Right. So it might look a little bit different in different dolls, but in not Reason, but in Machine, I don't know if they can see this, but right here you can see where there's a star. So you got your whole entire factory library right here, and you can go through your sounds, and what you can do is you can hit this star or hit the star next to all your sounds. So yeah, on that screen right there, you know, that's the library, all the sounds in the sound bank, and you might click on a sound, you might say, okay, I like that. You just hit the star and it'll save it. So anytime you come back to your synthesizers, it'll be right there. You know, you won't have to search for it. And it'll just make your process a lot smoother and a lot easier, because you already have some go-tos or some default sounds that inspire creativity when you sit down. So yeah, you always go through your library, even if you don't want to, or you initially don't hear too many sounds you like. Go through it anyway, because it's a sound. And another thing is, a sound that you don't like today might be a sound that inspires you to make a beat tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So even if it just piques your interest a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. You know, I'm gonna hit the star and I'm gonna save it as a favorite. So I might come across it tomorrow or another day, and I might use it to make a beat. You know, so definitely, that's the first thing you do after you buy your DAW in your system. Go through your entire sound bank and save all your favorite sounds. So all you would have to do is click the star or whatever.
Wait. So where's the sound bank at? How do you get there? What do you do?
So
every instruments.
All of this is all of that's the sound bank. So DAWs, they all look a little different, but they all present and do the same things at the end of the day. So some DAWs might have all the sounds over here at the top in the middle or to the right or whatever, but in Machine, everything is over here to the left, you know. So you got your synthesizers, you got your pluck strings, that's like your harps and stuff, guitars, flutes, you got pianos, all of that, everything's over here. So it's just different patches full of different sounds, and you can go through each one and listen to all the different sounds and pick the ones you like the most and save them for a day when you're ready to produce, or a moment when you're ready to produce.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? Rule number 5. When you get to the DAW, when you open up the DAW, what you want to do is pick the sounds that you think you may like, or that you like that day, or maybe that you might like another day.
Right,
Just put a star by them, because you don't know what those beats can create.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Save them.
The next number 1 hit, you know?
Exactly.
So definitely save them sounds. Open your DAW up. Rule number 5. Get them sounds on favorites.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
That's it. Yes, sir. Once you have a list or a grouping of your favorite sounds, you're pretty much ready to go, man. You just pick a sound that you like in that moment, or a sound that inspires you, or something you can feel, and you just play around with it until you come up with something that that you want to work on. So after that, me personally, I like to start off with a melody, So usually, like, one of my favorite instruments is a flute. You know what I'm saying? A flute and an 808, one of the two. Those help me get my creativity flowing quicker than anything else. So I'll go through my flutes and my drums, and I'll lay one of those down first, and then the rest, it just makes itself happen. Because after that, you just layer in another harmony or another melody on top of your initial melody. So that's the next thing you would do. You would go to your favorite sounds, pick a sound, play around with that sound until you hear something you like. Or like I said, you can always go back to your vocal records, your notes.
You start off with a melody, and you like that flute sound, and we are on that south side, and 2 Chainz do like that flute too. So you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off with a melody for y'all.
Right,
okay,
right. So
that's what y'all should do. Should we step over here to the let's step over here to the drawing board.
For sure. So yeah, like we discussed earlier, different DAWs. Well, most DAWs, all of them, they come with a sort of like an internal piano roll. So like even in this one, if you got the phone on the screen, you can see I pulled the piano up in the DAW. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let me show them folks. Okay.
So right here, you got the ability to pull up the piano roll, and this is like the start of the creativity. If you don't have hardware like an external piano or a beat pad or something like that, this is where a person would come if they're ready to start playing around with their sounds and making a beat. Because without the external parts, that's their only method of input. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's enough. It's adequate enough, and it provides you with everything you need to start making beats. Like, you don't even need any of this as long as you got that piano roll pulled up.
How did it pop up? How'd you make the piano pop up?
So it's pretty straightforward. It'll give you a piano symbol. Like right here, you can see the piano keys, and so. Yeah, that's what it looks like in Machine. I'm not familiar with Fruity Loops, but they all present you with the same option. It might look a little different, or it might be over here in the corner or something, but everything has all of them have a piano and a piano roll.
Okay. So everybody that want to cook up, the piano is included. You
Always.
need that. You need it. Do you need it?
I mean, not externally. In here,
right? But you do need the piano to make a beat.
Because you need something to input your melody. You know what I'm saying? So
this is the melody, y'all. This is the melody.
So this is where
this is how he starts off cooking up.
Come with your melody, yeah.
So say if they don't come with a melody first, can they still cook up?
So yeah, you don't have to have a melody. You can and typically when I say melody, I'm talking about instruments. You know what I'm saying? So your flutes, your pianos, your guitars, and stuff like that. Some people like to start off with an 808, or maybe a clap or hi-hats and snares. It just depends on the individual and what they gravitate towards when they're making a beat. So for me personally, I think a melody just provides a foundation for everything else and makes it easier to flow, because once you have a melody, it's easier to start adding different sounds. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got a melody, it's easier to harmonize, so it just lays the foundation for the rest of the beat and makes the process smoother. So that's why I like starting off with a melody, with an instrument versus everything else, because you can just kind of flow a lot better when you got a melody. So.
Show them what they would do if they started out without a melody. Show them
without a melody. So
yeah, what would they do instead?
So instead,
yeah, say if they starting off with the 808.
So okay, you simply go to
And what is that
your
808?
sound bank. 808. That's just really another word for your bass lines. Your bass. That's what 808s are. Your bass.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would go to your favorite kicks in whatever folder that is. You can have different kicks in different folders. But like I said, always save your favorite instruments. So that way, when you get ready to produce, you can go right to them. And I don't know if that's too deep for them to hear, but as you can hear, you got some 808s saved already. And so if you don't have a melody, you could just lay a bass line and come up with the melody secondary. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you would do if you didn't start off with your melody or have any inspiration for a melody in the beginning.
You would go to your bass folder.
Mm-hmm.
And where is that at again? Kick.
So yeah, everything is labeled. So yeah, that will be under your drums/kick section.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now what's rule number 6?
Rule number 6. So yeah, after you get a melody, then you just start layering. You know what I'm saying? So typically what I'll do after I got the melody, I like to lay my drums next, and then find other instruments to harmonize with. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do next. And you can actually, while you're making your beat, you can start to structure the beat. So if you show them the screen, like let's say I always gravitate towards the flutes. So you can actually start to group off or section or it's another word I'm looking for. You can start to categorize your instruments. Put them in order. So,
how do you do that?
So like I said, every DAW is different, but they all provide you with the same thing. So up here, this is where you would start to put the instruments that you're going to use. So if I start off with a melody or a flute or something, I'm going to click on flute, upload the flute, and I'll label that flute. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
show them how to label it.
Yeah, you would just double click in that section right there. It'll give you the option to type, and then that's where your flute would be.
Okay.
And so, like we just had the 808s up.
Mm-hmm.
So you would provide another section for your 808s, and you would upload it.
Wait. So how would you do that? Find another section.
So right here, you got a plus sign. So when you're ready to add another instrument,
okay,
yeah,
you just tap it first.
Right, it'll bring up another section. Mm-hmm.
Okay. After you tap that section,
yeah, you hit the plus button.
What's in there?
So right now it's empty.
Okay.
You see, it just gives you a generic term. It says Group B. But that's gonna be, your piano or your hi-hats or your drums or your pad or something like that. Yeah. So we'll go with a kick. Find a kick for now. You know what I'm saying?
And only one thing can go in that group, or the same. So you can pick 3, 4, 5, and 6 and put them in Group B.
Yeah. So they will all be included. And so, for example, like let's say, let's make this the drum group, because that's a good question you just asked. So the reason that you have 16 different sections under this one category, so let's say for your drums, your drums consist of your kick, your snare, your clap, your hi-hats, your open hats.
So only six can go into.
So you can put 16 in a group.
16 into the group.
Into this group. So,
okay.
Yeah, so like if you want to group things together, like if you want a section just for drums, then this one section would allow you to put a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, snap or clap, open hats, and all your percussion under that one section.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why you see 16 different slots under this group that says B1, but it's labeled drums because you've got different instruments that make up your drums, you know. So all of those instruments would go in the drum section, you know.
Yeah. So rule number 6.
Rule number 6,
Categorize.
categorize your instruments. Label them.
Label them for the cook-up
Right.
that you're about to create.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Now, by this time, what you feeling like? Now, by this time, where you at? Where you locked in or?
So at this point, you should be locked in and you should be ready to go because you got all your instruments saved. You should know what sound you want to use because you got your favorite saved. So you would go to, like I said, your piano roll or your beat pad, you know, whatever you have to input your sounds, and that's when you would start to, play around on your piano, play around with your sounds until you come up with a melody of something you like.
Okay. All right. So next, rule number 7.
Yep. You pick your sound, you start playing around with your sound, come up with a melody you like. So that's number 7. So about that time.
Okay. All right. Now it's time to cook up. After you get that melody you like, here we go. We about to show y'all what to do next.
That's right. Bring it to life. So I'm gonna work with this piccolo or this flute, 'cause like I said, that's my go-to, you know. So
Okay.
let's see what we
Okay.
get.
Gotta go with the go-to. Got to. It's
Don't make it stressful. You know what I'm
yeah. Don't make it hard on yourself.
saying? Right. Keep it as simple as possible. So I got something. I got an idea now. And also set your metronome too. A lot of beginners, they forget to set the metronome, and that just sets the tempo for the beat. You know, so you can hear the tempo in your head, but that thumping sound that you hear.
How do you set the metronome? The
So
thumping sound.
there's a universal metronome symbol in every DAW, and I don't exactly know what that is or what it represents. I just know it means metronome. So you would turn that on, and that'll help you find your tempo to your beat. And you would either slow it up or speed it up.
Wait,
right
hold on.
next to the metronome.
How do you slow it up or speed it up?
So right next to the metronome, you have what's called your BPM. That's short for beats per minute. And that just determines how fast or slow the metronome beats. It's really the speed of the beat. You know what I'm saying? So you can see as I turn it down, the tap slows down. As I speed it up, it picks up, you know. So you can hear the metronome internally in your head. You know what I'm saying? Your metronome should match the beat that you hear mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, you turn on your metronome. And
So rule number 8.
yeah.
Turn on your metronome. Turn it on. Rule number 9.
Let's see.
Find the speed you like for rule number 8. I'm sorry. Find your metronome. Know what speed of the type of tempo of beat you want to make. If you want to make. And pick it.
Yeah, and if you want to adjust it later on, you can. But just at the beginning, already make sure you have it set, you know, so you can start. Because it'll throw off your process later on. If you just start producing everything, if you make everything at 120, you might mess around and have to make the whole beat again because the idea will be too slow for the beat or for the metronome. So always set your metronome first, get that right, so the beat, you can get your beat in smooth. Won't be any delays or anything like that.
Gotcha. So set it on something low or
it depends on the idea you have. So if it's a fast-paced beat, then it's going to be a higher speed metronome. If it's a slower paced beat, it's going to be a slower paced metronome, you know?
Yeah, but set it somewhere to where you can adjust it later on, like if you want to speed it up or slow it down.
You can always speed it up and slow it down later on.
You can always do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But initially, just make sure you try to match it up as close to the ideas you got in your head. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah, because like I said, if the idea in your head is fast and you make it to a slow metronome,
Yeah.
it's gonna throw off the whole process. You're gonna have to go back and re-record that beat at a faster BPM, faster pace. You know, yeah. The more you mess around with it, the more it'll start to make sense. You know, but you gotta make sure your metronome matches the pace of the beat that you're getting ready to plug in, so that you don't have to do it later on. So yeah, make sure you got your metronome right. Once you got your metronome and your instrument, you play around. Like I said, you find your melody. You know. So I'm gonna try to get this idea out of my head. I got now.
So wait. So you're recording right now.
Right.
So how'd you start it? How'd you start recording?
So okay. Matter of fact, not true. Not recording. I don't start recording until I actually have that idea ready to be played out. But when I am ready to record, that's your record button right there. It's the same across all DAWs.
But you don't do it yet.
Not yet. Not until I can play that sound or that idea out like I want to. And then when I'm ready to import it completely, or once I have it completely down packed and I'm ready to play it out the way I hear it in my head, that's when I record it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you playing it out now?
Yeah, I'm working on that part now.
Okay. Rule number 9, work out what you had in your head. Work out your thought that you had in your head till you get that sound just right before you even hit the record.
Right, and like I said, it don't got to be nothing complicated, so. So I like that, you know. So
Yeah, that was
we'll
hard.
see
You didn't record it though?
I'm about to record. So like I said,
Okay.
try to get it sounded out before you start to record it. So that way, once you do record it, you're less likely to make a mistake.
Okay.
So typically, like I said, across all DAWs, well, I'm not gonna say that. Usually, there's a universal way to input your beats, and in Machine, it's called scenes. So, for example, the same way a song has an intro, then it's got a chorus, then it's got a hook and an outro, you can section that in your beat too. So scene 1 might be your intro. You know what I'm saying? Scene 2 might be your intro plus your hi-hats. And
So once you start recording, scene 1 gonna pop up right there.
Yeah. So you see this plus button?
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay.
So
you hit that when you're ready to move on.
Yeah. So let's just say you start from scratch. You hit that plus button. Get rid of it again. And you would insert a scene.
Hold on. So what BPM did you start off at?
So I picked 90 because that's what matches what I hear in my head right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that tap. And once you get your beat in, you can turn your metronome off. It's just to get your process started.
Yeah. Get the juices flowing.
Right.
Okay.
Make sure everything is on point. So.
Okay. So rule number 9. Play out, record, press the plus sign for scene 1. So you can lay down that thought or that melody that you had in your head. So you can record it.
Right. So yeah. so I hit the record button and save that idea. And now you can see it's looping, you know. I got it on loop.
You put it in loop?
Yeah, it's on loop. And so that's another thing you can do while you're cooking up your beat. Hit the loop button so that way you don't have to keep manually resetting it, because if you don't loop, it'll stop playing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Where's the loop button at?
So this is your loop button, and it kind of looks like I guess like an oval or a racetrack, but it just symbolizes that the beat is going to keep playing, keep going. So
What if you was to take that off?
if you take it off, it'll only play one time. It'll play your input once, and it stops. And so that's why you want to keep it on loop, because it'll give you the ability to keep layering and adding instruments to what you've already made without having to manually reset it, you know. And so I got my initial melody. I think I'm gonna add something else to it that I'm hearing. Let's see. So I can duplicate that, and by taking this first pattern that I've got, and my dog gives me the ability to duplicate my pattern. So
What do you mean by duplicate?
So when I say duplicate, what that means, it just allows me to copy it. So it'll take the same pattern I just made and copy it.
Copy it where?
So what I'll do, I'll create another sound. I mean, another scene. So I got my first scene here. So we're gonna do the same thing we did.
You create
First,
another scene.
Exactly.
How do you duplicate it?
So
What did you do?
you could just hit copy or duplicate.
Okay.
It'll just say duplicate. You know what I'm saying? And it'll make an
Okay.
exact copy of it. So
It'll play it again.
right, it'll play it again. So
Almost like it's looping it.
exactly, that's exactly what it's doing. It's looping. So I duplicated the scene, and I'm going to duplicate this pattern. And the reason I duplicate the pattern is because, let's say I want to change it up just a little bit, you know, because you don't want it to be a stagnant, never changing sound. So you can add a couple more notes to it, like I'm about to do now. So I'm gonna duplicate my pattern the same way I duplicated my scene.
Rule number 10. Duplicate your pattern. Pick a pattern. Either loop it, press loop. That way it can play over and over again. Rule number 10.
So let's see how this sounds. Okay. I think I like that. Bring this back again. So, alright. So we got the melody laid down.
Okay.
Now we'll go to the drums. I typically go to my drum second. So let's see.
Next, go to your next sound.
And for me, my next sound is typically drums, and I'll find a clap or a snare.
So what would you do now that you clicked on your drums? Where would you even put your drums on
So
the pattern?
So,
Or on the
yeah, and within
on the pattern, right?
So you're gonna upload a pattern the same way you did for the flute. You know what I'm saying? So you insert your first pattern. So no. Like I said, I insert my patterns with my beat pad. So
You do your patterns on the beat pad.
right.
Say if you don't have a beat pad and you're just starting off,
So if you
how do you
don't,
create that pattern?
you would just hit record. So for me, you can see it pop
Go
up.
to the drums.
Yeah, go to your drum section, and right now you can see you don't have anything in the pattern section.
Right.
Just hit record, and it will give you the ability
Oh,
to make
okay.
your pattern. Yeah, so it's real simple.
But it's not recording right now.
Nah, not yet. It doesn't record until you start to
Tap
press
something.
the sound. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So like I said, I typically go to a clap or a hi-hat. So let's see how I want to do this. Alright, so it's gonna be between 1 and 2.
You gotta open.
I think you So like I said, this is why you want to save all your presets, so your instruments that you like. I'm gonna take these off so I can hear this beat coming out of these monitors.
Okay. We can still hear you real good anyway on the headphones.
So I like this clap. So I'm gonna insert this clap into the pattern. And everything should be in tune with your metronome. You know, that's why the metronome is there, to make sure you get everything on beat. So you hear the tap, 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 tap. And so that's gonna help you lay your clap.
Okay. Wait, so next you lay a clap.
Yeah, a clap, or some people, they might do an 808, or they might do a snare. But I like the way this particular clap sounds with this flute.
So you basically have it looped,
Yeah,
or
it's
is it
looped.
saved when you record it?
Oh.
How do you record the next?
So I had the record button pressed. I'll go ahead and erase it just so I can show them again. Yeah. So get out of there. So yeah, you will hit your record button, and then for those who don't have an external drum pad, you can just draw it in on your DAW, and you just click your claps in to place.
Wait, so you click them where you want them to play at.
Right.
So just click right where you want each clap to come in.
Show up, exactly.
And this is not a loop. This is the actual stack, or this is the actual recording of the loop.
Yeah. It's you're recording. It's looping while you're recording, and that's why I said the loop is
significant.
Because
you
it
need
lets
that.
you keep adding to what you already have without having to manually reset it and listen back to it. So if you got a beat pad, instead of drawing it in with the mouse, you can just hit the pad on the corresponding pad that corresponds with the instrument on the DAW or whatever. And so if it's off a little bit, like you can see, this clap, both claps came in kind of late, but they've got the ability, or gives you the ability to do what you would say or call quantize, and that's just another way to say structure. You know what I'm saying? Because it's out of place right now.
How do you quantize?
If you just got
it is quantize. I said quantize. Maybe that.
It's all good. So in my DAW, you would hit right click on the instrument
I don't even know.
that's playing, and you hit quantize.
Wait. So you would do what? Do it again. I'm sorry. The camera didn't.
You could. So you would right click on the instruments or the notes that you input, and you would hit quantize.
And then it would put it.
Yeah, automatically puts that
periodically.
Yeah,
in
automatically
the spot
puts
where
that
you want
note,
it to be.
where you want it to be.
Not the length of the clap.
So this is
You can stretch it.
So I stretched the actual note, but not the clap, because these are what you call samples. Like all of these sounds are samples. So you can't really manipulate these samples unless you go to a particular section in the DAW. Basically, you have to re-record that sound and stretch it out manually. But stretching this out, that's not going to stretch out the clap, because that sample, it's sampled at
the right
what it. Yeah, it just is what it
needs
is.
to be.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, yeah, you can't change the length of the clap.
But
you know?
but if you was playing an external instrument, then you could drag it out as long as you press the key or hold down the drum pad.
Well, so even with the drum pad, you're not going to drag out a clap, because a clap is not like a flute. You know what I'm saying? Because
do not drag out a clap. Do y'all hear that?
And
whatever y'all do,
it really won't even give you the option to do it, because like I said, that sample was produced to sound the way it sounds. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do anything to manipulate this clap or drag it out and make it a long sounding clap. Like how you hear these flutes playing out with longer notes, that's because the flute was made to do that. So all the sounds already come pre-made to either hold or extend when you play them. So yeah, the flute, when they made this flute, they made it to where if you hold it down, it's gonna keep playing out. But this clap, no matter how long you hold that clap down, you can't drag that clap out like a flute, because it's a smart software. Like, it knows it's a clap. Like, you don't drag out claps. A clap is a quick instrument, and that's the way the DAW's always gonna play it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Rule number 11: you cannot drag out a clap.
Yeah, your drums are pretty much set to.
Your drums are set.
Right. And so, like I said, I always like to start off with my drums and my percussion.
And then what you also want to do for rule number 11 is quantize. That ain't even no motherfucking word, but you want to quantize, okay?
Right, you want to quantize. So,
and so,
clap. Now,
and
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jay.
Straight,
and what does quantize mean again, bro?
So quantize, that's just another way of saying structure. That's how you structure your beats or your notes.
What does it do?
So it structures it. So like, let's say your clap is out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you heard that, like, you automatically can tell that first clap is off. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't match the rest. So what it does, when you hit quantize, it's gonna structure it, and it's gonna line it up with
each loop.
With the rest of these, not the loop, but the rest of the claps in that section. Or you can do it manually and drag it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't do it manually, you can use your DAW, your software.
Manually meaning,
like, just drag it over yourself. So you don't have to click quantize. You can just drag it within the DAW. Yeah. So that's another way to quantize. Quantize just automatically does what you can do manually. You know what I'm saying?
So it'll put it right here.
Yeah. Like, if it was off by a little bit, like, I gotta force it to be off.
Put it off.
Like, you can hear it. That's off. You know.
Okay, let's hear it.
That first clap don't match the rest of the claps. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit quantize, and it's gonna drag it into the right spot, and you'll hear the next time the loop plays, the clap is in
It'll
place.
be in the right spot.
It's in the right
It'll
spot.
be in the same spot as it was the first time.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what your quantize is for.
All right.
So we got a clap going.
And then up here, it'll pop up.
Right. Well, so that's your section. That's your instruments
For your drums.
Yeah.
So
that's the section for your drums, and like I said, within each section you've got 16 more subsections.
So when you quantize that pattern automatically went to the next loop.
So we
Up here?
everything is already set to a loop up here.
Okay.
So whatever you start playing or inputting down here with your instruments,
Yeah.
this is like a.
So if you put it here one time, it's gonna show up right there again because it's looped.
Yeah, right, because we duplicated it.
Okay.
A couple steps back, we duplicated it. So yeah, that's why it's still looping and playing itself over and over.
Okay, so how do you know what drums you are using if it just say pattern 1?
So everything is connected. You see what I'm saying? So this is your drum section, and this is your pattern for your drums, and these are all the subsections for your drums.
What I'm saying though is, how do they know what drums you used?
Because we put them in down here. So this is it's all connected. Like that's what I'm trying to show you. Like your patterns are made up of the instruments in your drum section.
Right. So which pattern did you pick in the drums? Pattern 1?
You always start
or
off
sound
with
1?
Your first pattern. So we started off with pattern 1 for the drums, simply because it's the beginning of the beat. So it's going to be pattern 1. And so all of your instruments within your drum sections will start to play in pattern 1 as you insert them down here.
So after you insert that one down there,
we got
you put it up here.
So
how do you know which pattern you use?
The pattern, it automatically reflects itself.
So it won't say pattern 2 or pattern number 3?
So it won't do that until we create another pattern.
Okay.
But right now we still on pattern 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So that's our clap. Let's try to find. I'm gonna look for a snare.
Okay.
So most of them are gonna be in the same section, drums or percussions, but your snares are gonna be under
12. Find a snare.
drums.
It's in your drums or in your percussion section.
So we just go through the snares till we find something we like. And that's why it's good to save all your sounds so that way you can instantly get to them.
Right fast. This the cook up, y'all. This the real cook up. Showing you step by step, play by play, how to cook up every day.
So I like this particular snare right here that I just came across. So I'm gonna just insert that in a couple of places. So we got a clap and a snare going. Really, and then the next, I guess we would move on to our drums / 808s
Yeah.
and start laying a bass line, or at least some kicks for the bass line. So we're gonna label that the same way we labeled everything else. You'll label that section your 808s.
And you do that after you add it.
Well, actually, you can do it before. Like you can label that section.
Oh, okay. You
before
just
you
can't
add it.
label
So
this section.
Which one? Which one?
The pattern.
The pattern. So the pattern comes in after you're ready to lay the actual sound down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
As soon as you write something right, as soon as you put the pattern down for the 808
or as soon as I
pattern,
get ready
it's
to
gonna tell
record.
you what pattern the yellow pattern is,
Yeah.
what number it is,
Right.
what
Right.
sound.
Right. And because it's the first pattern for the 808s, it's always gonna say pattern 1.
Okay.
So yeah, it's automatically going to show you that that's the first one to do, or the first one is input. So we got a pattern, a section for the 808s, And so you're gonna go to your kicks, and it might be labeled something different in your DAW, but you'll go through your 808s until you find something you like. Let's see. I'm gonna play with this one. See. And so another thing, when you're looping your beats, leave record off until you actually ready to put the sound in. So while you're coming up with your idea, you can actually leave record off until you actually ready to insert that.
12. Leave the sound off. Leave the record off until you're ready to record.
And another thing with 808s, because 808s are bass lines and you usually play them at a deeper tone, it's good to start off higher because you can actually hear the true sound of the note. Whereas, you know, if you start off low, you can't really hear the true character of the sound because it's too deep. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good key for people to remember. Even myself, it keeps you from picking the wrong 808s. That you might not hear it initially, but when you play it back, it'll sound off and it won't match the beat. So make sure you set your keyboard or whatever you're using to input your sound to a higher tone, so that way you can actually hear how your 808 sounds when you get ready to play it in.
So set your speakers to a higher tone.
Right.
13. Set it on a higher tone so you can hear the 808s. So you can hear the bass. Cause it might sound low.
Yeah, it'll be distorted when you play it at a deeper tone. So it's gonna be high the first time we play it through, but we can always make it lower. So let me see. So I like the way this sounds. And then that'll loop with the rest of the beat. And so you can see a couple of these notes are off and you can hear it too. And so like I said, you'll just hit Quantize and it'll put everything on beat, you know? And so like I said,
So what is that you just added?
what I just add?
Another melody?
So that was this is the melody for the 808. And so right now, like I said, it's playing at a higher tone because you want to find the accurate notes when you insert them, because it's harder to hear deeper notes when you're trying to put them in, especially if you're not using some headphones and you playing everything over a monitor. You want to play everything back at a higher tone or a higher note with your 808, so you can hear the true sound you actually getting.
Yeah.
And so I'll reverse a little bit.
So how do you play it on a higher tone?
So just move up on the keyboard. You know what I'm saying?
Do what?
Move up on the keyboard.
Okay.
So, because the keyboard goes from high to low. So you would just move up. If you were playing lower notes here, I'll pause it for a second. So here you can hear, those are your deeper notes. You just come up to the higher part of the keyboard and play on that, and you'll hear it like that.
All right.
And so we reversed a little bit. I took you back to the part where the notes are out of place a little bit. And this is where your Quantize comes in a section. And it structures everything and puts everything on beat. So now that you have your 808s picked out, like I said, initially we picked them out at a higher tone so we could make sure we found the accurate sound.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you don't play high 808s, you know what I'm saying? You want deep rumbling.
You want deep 808s.
Yeah, you want some deep 808s. So what you'll do is, my particular DAW, it's got the ability to let you automatically drag them down, drag your notes down. So right here where it says octave, that's just notes. So right here it says octave, and that just means
say octave,
but
not active.
Not active.
Octave.
So octave just gives you the ability to make your notes higher or lower. And so if it's got a plus sign, that means if you press this button, it's going to raise your notes to a higher sound. Like you can see, it just went up, but we don't want higher octaves. We want a lower octave. And so you keep pressing that until it gets to the depth that you want. So it's going to be something in this range. That might be too deep because you can barely hear it.
Right.
So I think that one sounds good enough to me, you know. So if you pick the right octave or select the octave that sounds good, and you just let it ride with the rest of the beat. So I added that on accident. And so what we don't have yet, we don't have a drum. We gotta add a drum. And so your drum, like your kick, is a part of the drum section. So you'll go find a kick in your kick section, wherever that's at.
So your drum and your kick is different.
Yeah, it's two different things. So it's almost like they can be interchangeable sometimes.
Pause it. My bad. I should have started. I should have been start saying that.
It's cool.
Okay.
So kick and drum can be interchangeable sometimes, but your kick is like your thump. Like that's the part that it bumps. You know what I'm saying? Your drum is like your 808. That's the actual bass line. So a kick, like I said, they can be interchangeable sometimes, but just to make it clear for new producers, your kick is going to be your thump or that knock that you hear, and your drum /808, that's going to be the actual bass line that you hear playing. So I'm going to single this out so they can hear it. That's your bass line, your 808. Or you could call that your drum. It's also called a kick, but just for teaching purposes, we're going to separate the two. So we're going to call this the kick. Not the kick, but the drum /808. So that's your 808. And what we need right now.
So you have an 808.
So we got an 808.
Well, now you adding a kick.
Now we need a kick. So
you go back to the drums?
Yeah, you would go back to your drum section.
Would you add a plus sign to that?
A plus sign. So no, because your kick is going to be a part of your drums, and we already got a section for the drums.
Gotcha.
So we just adding that sample to the section we already got. So you go through your drums, you pick one. Like I said, if you don't have any external hardware, you be drawing everything in.
When you start talking, pause it.
Okay.
That way.
Okay, so they can hear.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any external hardware, you would be drawing everything in within your DAW on the keyboard in the section that they provide you with, because you don't have anything else to put it in with. But if you do, you can use your drum pad and play it in with your drum pad. So typically, I play out my drums in with the drum pad. So
okay.
We'll run it back and I'll see how I want to label it. So I like the way that sounds, but let's say I want to add, like spice up the end of that drum pattern a little bit, and add some extra notes. So right now, it sounds a little complicated, but it's not. It's playing at 1/16 notes, and basically that just means it's quarters. It's in quarters, but if we want to add more sections to insert more kicks, then what we would do, we would come down to this particular
Wait,
part.
hold on. Let me see where you at.
Okay, cool.
All right. I will do what?
So everything right now is being inserted at 1/16. That's the pattern.
Okay.
But let's say I want to add some faster notes or add some more drums to the end of that pattern. Then you would click.
So that would bring the drums in faster or slower?
Right. It gives you the ability to make your drums roll faster.
And how'd you pick that?
So you just go down to the section where it shows your notes. And
Where it shows notes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's all in numbers. It'll be 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16.
Gotcha.
Right now, everything is at 1/16.
Okay.
You would go to 132 or 164. I'm gonna pick 132.
If you want to go faster.
Right. And so you'll see. You see these little blocks or these squares.
Yep.
So right now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squares in each section. But if you pick 132, then it'll give you 8. So now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now you got 8 sections to put in notes, whereas initially you only had 4. And so the more sections you have, the more notes you can put in, and the faster your drums are gonna roll. So we're gonna play it back, and I'm gonna insert just 2 more drums, and you'll hear the difference. So that's how it sounds now. I'm gonna add 2 more. And so
wait, you added 2 more what?
Added 2 more drums.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the 2 drums out and show you how it sounded initially. And that's how it sounded. Now I'm gonna add the drums back. And you can see you got more kicks going towards the end of that beat.
When you add more squares.
Yeah, you added more sections, so that allows you to add more kicks.
Okay.
And now you can hear that those extra rolls coming in towards the end of the beat, you know. And so what we got a kick, we got a snare, we got a clap, and I always like you gotta have some hi-hats. They spice everything up. So
all right.
you will go back to your drum section. All of those are drums: your kicks, your snares, your claps, hi-hats, open hats. They all fall under your drum section, and that's why I got everything in one particular section, just for the drums, because they can all play together. You can separate them, but I think it's more convenient to have everything grouped in to one section when you're working on your drums. So we're gonna loop it back, and I'm gonna go through hi-hats and find a hi-hat that I like.
And then we're gonna be done.
Pretty much, yeah. After that, you pretty much got a full beat.
Yeah,
you know?
just give them a quick little cook up. They don't need to know all the sauce. Just you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's see. We're in our drum section.
As y'all go along, y'all will get this. Y'all will get this. Do not worry. We're just showing you the basics, the bare minimum.
So you can pick whichever one you like. These are some of my go-tos.
And where'd you find that snare at?
I found this. That's a hi-hat.
That hi-hat.
Yes,
Where'd you find that hi-hat at? I'm
under
sorry.
a hi-hat section. So you got your drums, and your hi-hat section is a subsection of your drums.
Okay.
And remember in the beginning, I said we saved everything, and we put a star next to everything we like.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of my favorite hi-hats. I highlighted it. So now we've inserted it, we double-clicked it, inserted it. If you don't have, like I said, if you don't have anything external to input your sounds, you just gonna draw them in.
So wait, so your hi-hats is under drums too?
Right.
Okay.
And if you don't have a drum pad or a piano or something, you just gonna click your hi-hats in.
Wait, so it created a whole nother section for that?
So yeah.
Up here?
No, down here.
Why not up there?
Because up here, this is just an overall, this is the broader section for what's down here.
Okay.
So this is a grouping of
just
everything.
the sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So this one group contains all these separate sounds that make up that particular group.
Okay, gotcha.
Like I said, if you don't have a keyboard or a MIDI pad, you would draw everything in. and as you draw it in, it'll just loop with the rest of the beat.
Okay.
But if you do have a drum pad, and this is why I like having a drum pad, you can just hold note repeat and it'll play it for you. Instead of having to draw it, you just hold it and it'll play it.
It'll play it every time.
Right. And also, like I said, if you want to add more,
If you don't have a drum pad.
yeah, if you don't have a drum pad, you're going to click everything in within your DAW.
Okay.
But if you do have a drum pad, you can use this.
And click in all the hi-hats.
Yeah, it'll automatically insert as you press. And
Okay.
so also, like I said, it also expedites you and gives you the ability to, like I said, like if you want to put more sections in here to speed up your rolls, you would have to do it manually. But with this, you could do the same thing. So like when we came down here and we picked 132, you can actually pick 132 on the pad.
Gotcha.
And it'll play it the same way as if you would when you
on the
did
external. Okay. Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah, it would do the same thing.
All right, and there y'all go. Y'all got the cook up. Y'all got the sauce.
That's it. So that's
Show them how to save it. Show them how to lock it in, and
for sure. So when you save, typically on a Mac it's always at the top left corner. But it might be on the top right for your other programs, but you will come up here and you will hit save. I'm gonna turn that metronome off real quick. You hit save.
you will label it.
Yeah, you label it. So we're gonna call it the cook up for now. And along with saving it, make sure you're saving while you're making your beat. So just in case you have any technical difficulties or the computer shuts down or the power goes out, you don't lose your idea. You know what I'm saying? So don't wait till the end of the beat to save it like we just did. Always save your beat as you're making the beat, and it'll prevent a lot of heartache and pain down the road, man. Yeah.
The last rule: make sure you save it periodically.
Right. Save
If you
while
don't, you risk losing it all.
Yeah, you might start from scratch.
Hey, and that's our one-on-one for y'all.
That's it.
Appreciate it, Demetrius.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir.
Beatmaker
That's the
101.
cook up. Time for the cook up. Yes, sir.
That's it. Simple process, man. So we finished.
Rebound. It is your season to rebound. Yeah, man. Rebound. Get back on it. It's time to grab the ball, snatch it down, and put it back in the goal, or pass it. Get you a rebound. Whatever you fell off of, get back on. Keep going. It's all about your work ethic. It's all about keep going. Fall off, get back up, rebound. That's my word for y'all, man. Blessings on blessings on blessings. Peace.